You are now tuned into the We Are Gunsmith podcast, the world's #1 podcast. Or at least they think so. Sit back, kick your feet up, and relax to the sweet, sweet sounds of James Mooney and Rob TRAMONTE, or as they're known internationally, Cash Mooney and Maserati. It's gonna be lit beyond comprehension. You already know, fam.
First thoughts.
I kind of caught you off guard.
Is it on? No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it works. You're on.
That was impressive, guys. I was taken back. I'm not going to lie.
That's our boy Barry.
That's pretty much the only impressive thing we do. So it's about as far as it goes.
It's all downhill.
Like the #1 podcast, or is it? I think.
Yeah.
I think you should maybe. Anyways,
We should revise that, right?
Or
It is
is
the
it?
#1, yeah.
Yeah.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the We Are Gunsmith podcast. It's your boy James Mooney.
It's Rob Tremonti.
And we got a special guest today, TJ Millard.
Oh, special. Wow. I feel loved. Thank you. Yep. Good to be here, guys.
Basically, it's Captain America in the flesh.
Yeah, this guy does it all.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we had some fun.
Yeah.
Fun in the past and more fun coming in the future. So.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Exactly. TJ is a Labrada nutrition athlete as well as a Apache helicopter pilot on his way to civilian life.
Yeah.
When?
I am out of the Army 29 June, officially.
Damn,
It's
dude.
like 2 weeks ish.
Yeah.
What kind of like emotions are going through you?
You know,
I know people handle that kind of stuff way differently. Like some people are terrified. Some people are stoked.
I'm very excited.
Okay.
I have a couple different opportunities in the future that have kind of presented themselves, different doors opening and stuff. But it was, it wasn't the exit of the military that I thought I was going to be having. Normally you would do your time and then retire, or get out after 8 years, or if you do the 20, you get out then.
Yeah.
Mine actually, we were deployed in 2016 to Iraq, and had a gnarly reaction to the anthrax vaccine that they give us, and it started hardening a lot of the fascia, like in my arms and my legs. And so right off the bat, it started happening back in November, like right after we got the shot. And it was real slow. My hands just started getting tight and stuff. And I was like, well, this is kind of weird. But I was doing a lot of front squats at the time. So I'm like, maybe I just yanked it and it pulled both forearms or whatever.
Just
like,
getting too
whatever.
jacked in the forearms.
Exactly.
That must be it.
So then we get another shot. And then things got a little. I couldn't put my hand flat down on a surface. They wanted to contract. My fingers wanted to contract, and I'm like, "Well, this isn't good because I've stopped front squatting. And it's not getting
away.
better.
Like, I'm not that jacked.
So then we get into Iraq, and that's when things started getting really bad. That's my hands swelled up to substantially bigger.
Yeah.
I couldn't. We get called out on QRF, Quick Reaction Force, or whatever, to go support someone or whatever. And I'd run up to the helicopter, and I'm crawling around the helicopter to get into the front seat, because in the Apache, you don't just like slide in. You have to crawl it up. And
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's very inconvenient, actually. But anyways, so I'm crawling up, and I'm having to do it on my knuckles like a monkey, because I couldn't put my hands flat. So I'm like, jumping in there and that type of thing. And just, you kept like, the carpal tunnel was gnarly, just pinching all over the place. The funny thing is, I've never had big legs, and I've always been self-conscious about it. My calves are super small. Calves are super small.
I feel like most people are like that.
Yeah.
Like with the calves are tough.
They are.
The only reason I have big calves is because I used to be like pretty overweight.
Okay.
That's all you gotta do. I always tell people,
Just get fat.
just be kind of obese for like 3 years, lose a bunch of weight, and you'll have big ass calves.
Yeah. So I mean, I was getting excited because we're in Iraq, and my buddy Ian and I were doing lunges down the whole hangar bay, which is, it's pretty far, and we had like 225 on there. And I still had some decent energy, right?
Yeah.
So I'm doing all these workouts, and we're eating like kings, because in Iraq, and you have these buffets for like the defect and stuff, and just
I didn't even know
shoveling
that.
the food. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't really know.
Is it
much
good?
about
Depending
It's
where
a
you're at.
good
See,
food, though.
See, that's the thing. So like, there's gonna be people yelling at me like, "Oh, I didn't have that." What the fuck you mean? I was eating MREs. No, when you're at a larger place, a larger base, you have a good DFAC or something like that. So I'm eating all these calories and stuff, and I had been doing stuff for fitness, trying to stay more lean throughout the whole time before for Labrada stuff. And I was like, all right, I'm dedicating this deployment to a bulk. So eating all this food, doing all these lunges, and my legs start getting pretty big. And I'm like, oh wow, like this is really working out. I just needed more calories, right? So Ian and I would be in the room after our shift, and I would take off my boots, and you could see where the boot was, where the sock was, and like just where like all this stuff. I'm like, he looks at me, and our eyes just meet. They get massively like, is that muscle or? And come to find out, it was definitely edema and just swelling like crazy. I was like, well, I was really excited to get my small legs back after a year of prednisone.
You were getting swole, but not the right kind of swole.
Yeah.
That's crazy. There's probably kids out there that would love that. It doesn't matter what it is.
Just gotta get edema, man. You're good.
They're Googling it right now.
How do I get edema in the calves?
Edema supplements.
So it actually turned into I got medevaced out of Iraq. A little into our tour there.
When was this?
This was in March of 17. That's when I left.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and so it actually got really bad after I left. I felt like a 90-year-old man. Like my legs, I could barely walk. And, this is all happening over the course of a week. I mean, from doing dips and lunges and all this kind of stuff to just so stiff. And I'm in Germany in the hospital there, just walking around like a 90-year-old man. It was nuts.
Damn, dude.
And they had no idea what was going on, right?
Right.
And so every specialist wants to do their own test. We need blood for this. We need, stick you with this or whatever. And they're like, "Oh, we want to do a bone marrow biopsy." I was like, that's not going to happen because that sounds extremely painful.
I've heard that's one of the most painful things is donating bone marrow.
Yeah, I've also heard that. But they eventually had to cut me open on my forearm here and then go down to the fascia and the muscle and then check it all out and found out it was a super rare, like 300 cases in the U.S. ever.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think I have superhero blood or something, but
you gotta get that Wolverine stuff injected into you, whatever that adamantium or whatever the hell.
Yeah. So
do they what's it called? Do they know what it's called? Like, do they have a name
called
for it?
eosinophilic fasciitis.
Spell that shit, Rob.
Go.
I already forgot what you said. I'm definitely not spelled that.
Damn.
Yeah. So it led to a med board, which is not how I had wanted to leave the military.
Right.
Flying Apaches was something that I had wanted to do since I was in the 8th grade.
Yeah.
My dad built them for 30 plus years, and I sat in that helicopter when I was like 10 years old, and I was like, I'm gonna fly this thing, and I did it. No one can take that away.
Yeah. So, do you remember the day where you knew you were gonna get that opportunity?
Yeah, absolutely. Because we go to flight school, and as you progress through flight school, we all start out on a Bell 206 at the time. Now they fly these super cool helicopters in the beginning, but we had these 206s like a little Jet Ranger, and so you learn to fly that. You hover and do all that kind of stuff. Then you fly instruments, which is like flying in the clouds and all that jazz. And then you go into BWS, which is learning to fly like an RV pilot, flying over the trees, going into the
the cool shit,
confined area. Yeah,
the video game type shit.
Exactly. So you take all these tests, and a tremendous amount of tests as you go through flight school and memorization and all this kind of stuff. And then you go into a room with everyone you went to flight school with. So it's your class is maybe 20, 25 people, something like that.
How many people kind of fall off? Is it like a high turnover?
They fall from different things, though. It's not always the same thing. Like, so one person might not be able to fly, and then another person can't study, and then another person gets a DUI
it's not
whatever.
Like a large percentage usually.
No, I mean, they do their best to try and keep you, because they're already investing a lot of money in you going through that program.
Right.
Yeah. So then you're sitting in this room with all these people you went to school with, and there's one event before you actually go into this room, and it's a PT test. And the PT test is heavily weighted. Like if you're at the middle of the OML or whatever, which is an order of merit list, a list of all the people.
Yeah.
If you do really well on the PT test and you are at the top, then you are like top of the OML. That kind of weight. Huh. I kind of have always been into fitness.
Yeah,
I'm not a brainiac, so
you're like, I just got to stay in the middle, and then I'll crush that shit.
So there it is. OML comes around, and they start going down this list. You're all in there, and they read off the names, and then they pull down this board, and there's all the helicopters up. They got Blackhawk, Chinook, Kiowa, and Apache, and there's tick marks under each one. And so they start going down the list, and they read one of my buddy's names, and then another name, and then they're like, all right, Millard. And I'm like, I was number 3 in the class. I'll take that. And there were like 4 Apache slots, and I was like, I'll take Apache. And that's when I knew I was going to be flying Apaches.
That's kind of sick.
Kind of surreal, dude.
You get to pick it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What are the differences between the different ones?
So
Like different kinds of like missions or
yeah, so you're basically picking a mission set. So with the Blackhawk and the Chinook, you're carrying troops around. You're supplying. It could be medevac. You could be you're working with a lot of guys in your helicopter. That type of thing. With the Apache, we are an attack platform. So if there's guys who are on the ground and they're getting shot at, that's when we would show up and take care of that problem. If there was a deep strike or something like that, it would be Apaches, that type of thing. The Kiowa has actually been removed from the Army's inventory, so it no longer is flying anymore. But that was kind of a scout platform. So it'd go out there with its camera and find some cool stuff to shoot and then link up with us. And fun stuff.
Which one's the least desirable? Like, which one is like, damn, like the last guy's like stuck, like, fuck.
Yeah. No, I don't think they're all cool.
They're all
they're
cool.
all really neat. Everyone plays a point in that job, So
Fair enough.
Everyone's a piece of the puzzle.
There you go.
How long were you able to do that until you're?
I was in the Army for 7.5 years, and pretty much my last, almost a year, I wasn't doing much flying. So I've got to fly for 6 years.
Did you always fly solo? I mean, like on like a commercial airline, you fly like there's like two pilots.
Yeah.
Like, do you fly with two pilots, or is it just you?
Yeah, no. In the Apache, it is a 2-person aircraft. We can't fit any more than that. We sit in a tandem configuration. So.
Oh, you can't even fit any more than that?
No, 2 people.
Wow.
So you have your gunner who sits up front, and then the pilot sits in the back. Now you can pilot the aircraft from either seat, but that's generally how it's set up.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah,
I had like a vision in my head, and that's like not at all what it looked like. That's crazy, dude.
Yeah, no, it's super cool though. Super cool. So,
Do you think if this hadn't have happened with your hands and that you'd stay longer, or would this have always been kind of like as soon as this contract was over, you were done?
It's funny you asked that because I kind of got some shit from my buddies. Because I had been planning on making my exit from the military. I enjoyed what I got to do.
Right.
The opportunity to fly Apaches, serve my country, the whole thing. It was awesome. Not what I wanted to do for the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to go do some other stuff and explore other options. And so I was actually planning on dropping my QR or UQR, which is a packet to get out of the Army, when we got back from Iraq.
No.
And so when this happened, and they're like, this motherfucker.
How convenient that you're sick right now.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm like almost dying in the bed. I'm like, yeah, I know, guys. Thanks.
Ew.
So, but yeah.
Well, everything happens for a reason, so.
I believe that.
Yeah.
I do.
So what's the plan now that you're on your way out?
Yeah. This is
Heading to Hollywood, huh?
Yeah, we've talked about this a little bit on the side. Moving to LA in 5 days.
Wow.
Some very unique opportunities presenting themselves out there. I don't want to go too much into detail because I might end up on a freeway just with a can of change, So I'm not gonna.
Don't want to jinx it.
Exactly.
Well, if that's the case, we'll pick you up in January when we drive down there.
Excellent. So head down to Hollywood, Tinseltown, as Archer would say, and gonna go hang out there for a bit.
Right on.
Yeah.
You want to talk a little bit about like what you're passionate about, or like because you're a videographer, you're very creative, et cetera, et cetera. So I mean, have you always been into that?
Yes.
Or how did you get into that?
Dude, I have been playing with cameras since I was 8 years old. So the big ones, just messing around,
taping the VHS tape.
with duct tape onto the top of the truck. I got to get this rolling footage.
Dude, the camcorders were like, oh
so
my God.
ridiculous how big they used to be.
Well, I watched a dunk contest thing with Vince Carter last night, and like Shaquille O'Neal stands up with this huge camcorder. It looks like a rocket launcher. Like it's absurd. So I know what you're talking about, but like, anyways, go ahead.
Yeah. So just playing with cameras, filming stuff with my friends.
I
love film. I mean, you can call it filmmaking. You're not really making a film, but kind of just having fun with cameras,
shooting some cool shots.
Yeah, I just like making cool shit, dude.
Yeah.
So
flying drones.
Flying drones.
Kind of
I think it's funny.
You're always flying stuff.
The drone thing is that market has exploded, dude.
Oh yeah.
The drones that I'm flying around today, I wish I had that when I was a kid, man.
My God.
And even look back 5 years, like 2013, 2012, they came out with the DJI, the big drone maker, came out with the Phantoms, a little white one.
Yeah, right.
The original.
Yeah, that's
drone.
like
original.
It's like, holy
that's like the
shit.
OG.
Right. And so to actually get something usable about that. You put the GoPro on that at first, and that footage isn't usable at all. The thing's shaking all over the place. You can see the props, and I'm like, well, this is still kind of cool, but So then I start soldering on gimbals and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, all right, this is a little bit more usable. It's still shit, but maybe something. And fast forward 5 years, and I'm flying an Inspire 2. It's like $8,000 drone. Is 5.2K raw. I mean, it is beautiful footage. It's better than like old movie footage, like from the 90s and 2000s.
Like for sure,
it's insane. And you have that on a flying fucking fortress kind of thing.
Yep.
And anybody can just go to the store and buy one, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
if you got a lot of money,
right? Yeah. I'm just saying, like,
they get a little spendy.
The fact that anybody can go to like the store and buy something that can make a better movie than people in Hollywood back then. Yeah, that's crazy.
I bet the Apache background helps with the drone flying a little bit.
The aviation background helped because I knew airspace.
Yeah.
And to do this professionally, you do need to have a good understanding of airspace because you don't want to be flying, where planes are going to be landing and that type of thing, or a frequent route or something like that.
That'd be sick footage. I would
until it disappears,
and then you get arrested.
And you're in jail.
The content.
Fly over like a U.S. government building. And just
the content.
Yeah. I think the Apache thing helped for that, but then the video games, dude.
Oh yeah, I could see that. Yeah, the video game
all
controls.
Day. It's just like it. It's just, and so you saw the video we did the other day with Air 3, the boat one.
Yeah.
We're flying down this river at 60 miles an hour, 55 miles an hour, whatever, and the drone's 2 feet off the water and just going back and forth and stuff, and I'm like, this is fucking sick. It was so much fun, dude. It was so much fun. And I mean, there's little room for error. Because if even just the camera tips in the water, the whole thing's gone.
Oh, yeah, you're ruined.
Yeah. And, but yeah, it's actually easier if you're going the same speed as the drone because you're just like sitting still. You're just moving to left and right, And
that makes sense.
Yeah. So
have you ever crashed one of your drones?
I got a story for that one. So actually, it was my Phantom back in Colorado. I had a little DJI Phantom, and I lived out in the middle of the desert, dude. Like there was nothing around us except my house. And my buddy, who was a Chinook pilot, he's like, "Oh, can I fly?" I was like, "Yeah, dude, no problem. You're a pilot. I trust you.
You should be able to fly this."
Yeah,
right?
No problems, right? So this guy takes the thing off. He's buzzing it around, and then he's like, "Oh, I'm going to try a little faster." I was like, "Go for it, dude. Whatever." And so he brings it around like where we're standing and flies it directly into the side of the house. Full speed. I'm like,
damn.
Are you shitting me? Did this really just happen? And the thing still flew.
Oh, really?
I had to replace the props, but it still flew.
Dude.
Wow.
Yeah. So good job, DJI.
You should like submit that story to DJI. Get a little kickback right there.
Yeah.
That's a testimonial right there.
Yeah.
Have you seen those racing drones on like ESPN?
Dude, those things are sick. I want to do that they're like Jedis. They're just like going through those little things and stuff.
I know.
Like,
I remember working out. Working out one day. Like I looked up at the TV and I saw that they usually, it's basketball or whatever. I looked up and it's like they're racing drones. And I'm like, what year is it right now? Mm-hmm. This is ridiculous. Like, how do you find a collective group of people that are all good at that and that are all into that? I mean, it's just like I don't know, man.
No,
people these days are nuts.
It's like the episode 1.
Oh yeah,
like in Star Wars when they race through those canyons.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I was like, that's just like it. So
they have courses set up actually.
Yeah, dude, and like
insane.
there's like neon lights and like it's
that's some
it's wild
shit right there.
It goes so fast. I don't know. It's crazy, but
they move.
How far do you want to go with like filmmaking? We'll just call it filmmaking.
Yeah. No, I think being involved in a major motion picture would be a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. Whether it's flying drones, whether it's flying in a real helicopter, doing the filming from that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, shit.
So.
Yeah.
Hint.
Would you ever want to be like the camera guy? Like, I don't know. Not flying,
dude. I actually enjoy doing the camera more than I enjoy flying the drone. Because it's a gimbal, it's super smooth. You're on the sweet controls, and you're seeing the shot come together.
Yeah.
And the interesting though is if you're flying, it's 2-person configuration. So someone's flying the drone, someone else is doing camera. You need to have a certain amount of chemistry, good communication with who's ever doing that. Because it's like, hey, slow down. I'm gonna start raising the shot up. This type of thing. And if he's already passed it, and it's shot's gone, it's done. Right. So a lot of chemistry.
You gotta be on the same page.
Yep.
I can see that for sure.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, if you wanted to fly helicopters in movies. I'm sure there's not a ton of guys out there that they can choose from. You know?
Yeah. There's I know there's one guy who does a lot of that.
Oh, really?
He's big on Instagram. His name's Fred North, and he cool
how old
helicopter
is he?
video.
Is he older guy?
He's an older dude.
Okay.
He's been flying for a hot minute, but he's awesome.
Take
You're
his
the
spot.
you're the replacement.
Yeah.
Friday,
So
I'm
say
coming. Can we go flying?
Coming for you, bro.
Just hang out with him a lot. Get to know everybody he does. That's how it works.
So
That'd be sweet, like flying like a big ass action movie, like
For sure.
Transformers or some shit.
oh,
like,
it's so cool. What they do.
Expendables.
yeah.
And that's like he was shooting for Fast and the Furious 8, I think.
Oh wow.
And all these cars are going down the ice and stuff, and he's like right on top of them and all that kind of stuff.
Dude.
Super cool.
Oh.
Super cool stuff. And then my other buddy Aaron, he flies the Red Bull helicopter.
Oh, cool.
But on the side, he does filming for a bunch of different TV shows and stuff like this. And he posted on Instagram. He was shooting for Jay Leno's garage. They were on a racetrack. And he's going right over the cars. I'm like, that is so sick. So yeah, neat stuff.
That'd be badass. Mm-hmm. And they can't be. I can't imagine. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people that are trying to get into that field, but I can't imagine that there's a lot of super highly qualified. I mean, people.
Yeah, there's a lot of helicopter pilots out there.
Yeah.
But I think it also comes down to this is someone that you have to work with, you know, like especially like the camera crew.
Yeah.
So I think there's a portion of that likability that comes in. Like, this guy
the
can fly like none other, but
intangibles.
he's an asshole.
Yeah.
You know. So,
Dude, that's like every job.
yeah. But I don't underestimate the power of likability. You know.
For
That's
sure.
true. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
if it's between you and some other guy, and
Yeah.
you're a
You
fucking
suck.
awesome dude, and the other guy fucking blows.
I'm saying you guys still bring something to the table, but you know.
Yeah. I mean,
get me wrong.
you can't just be likable. You have
No.
to. You have to be talented too.
yeah,
but
absolutely.
They're the intangibles of not just being super talented. You have to.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah, I remember at my last job that he said like I got hired pretty much off the intangibles, and I had talent and whatnot. But he was like, I don't really care about the stuff we can train you on, because I can train you. I can't train your attitude and your personality. And I was like, damn, dude, I never really thought about that, but it makes a lot of sense.
Absolutely.
Because I got that job over a lot of guys that like I found out later were also applying, and I was like, I have no idea how the fuck I beat out these guys.
Yeah.
But then I found out all those guys like just were, I don't know, just too weak for the job. That's what I was told and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
it's kind of interesting, but
Yep. Absolutely.
So, how'd you get hooked up with Labrada, doing the fitness thing?
That has been a blessing, dude. Those guys are awesome. Give a shout out to Lee Labrada. Thank you.
Still looks good.
He's amazing.
How
dude.
old is he?
Yeah,
He's
dude.
got
That guy he's amazing.
late 50s, 60s, something like that.
This is just coincidence, but my brother-in-law texted me today. He goes, what does Labrada stand for? Or no, he says, is Labrada the real last name? And I was like, yeah, I mean, it's Lee Labrada, Mr. Olympia or whatever. And so he sends me this picture off of Google Translator or whatever. And it was like, I don't know what language he translated from, but in English, it was like Labrada, and then English, it was carved. I was like, well, that's fitting.
oh yeah, it was his destiny.
Let's see if that was his actual name when
That's
he was
sick.
born.
That's sick.
But that started in 2014. They did a nationwide search for Labrada athletes, and so I submitted an application or whatever, some photos and like a video and all this kind of stuff. And they picked 5 dudes and 5 girls to represent the team, and I was one of them to get selected.
How many of them are still on the team?
Not as many. They've definitely cut quite a few.
They
They've cut quite
whittled
a
it
few.
down.
Yeah. But it's such a blessing being with that crew. They take, even after I got sick and I wasn't lifting as much, I wasn't doing, as much promotion and stuff.
Yeah.
They were like, "What do you need?
That's
don't
cool.
worry
That's
about
awesome
it.
that
You
they
take care of you, that type of thing."
That says a lot about them.
Yeah,
I've actually
absolutely.
I've actually tested their stuff out before, like years ago, and it was really good. I remember that like vividly, thinking like this protein actually tastes fucking awesome.
The
So-
lean body, whatever the ready to drink ones, those are super good.
Yep, absolutely. So
That's awesome that they stuck behind you, because a lot of companies, especially nowadays, like
on
if you're
the
not
next
if
one.
you're not able to like post your social media content or whatever, they're like on to the next.
Yeah.
Like, so that's cool. That says a lot about them that they stuck by you.
Yeah. That's something I want to talk about. The social media, the Instagram, and getting people like we had talked a little bit about it the other day, but these guys who are buying followers, and the companies, we talked about this last night, James and I did, the companies that just got taken for a ride from these dudes who, have bot followers, I have 100,000 followers or whatever. And then the company says, can you promote our stuff? And it's going to all these bots,
dude.
And he's getting all this free
They're
stuff.
getting like 20 likes and they have like 100,000 followers. And it's like, that company doesn't know. Back like when Instagram first came out, like in 2012?
I think it was 13 or 12.
Yeah, something like that. I didn't know shit about. I didn't know you could buy followers. I didn't know that was a thing. And then like,
no one's slick anymore, dude.
Yeah, nowadays,
so easy.
Nowadays, like people just accuse everybody of buying followers.
Yeah.
I remember, I saw something the other day, like on a buddy of mine's page, and somebody's like, "How do you have your fake followers?" Like just going off on him. And I was like, I'm pretty sure he doesn't. Like I've seen his page grow, organically, like over a long period of time. Yeah. But like if you don't, meet certain criteria, people just assume that you're fake.
Yeah.
But people can't. I mean, like haters, whatever. They can't fathom the fact that, like, why are you popular and I'm not? You know what I mean? Well, it's like, I've been working hard at it for 5 years.
Yeah.
And you just got a phone the other day. Like,
well, the crazy thing is, like, you'll go on somebody's page nowadays and like they'll have like 1 million fucking followers, and I've never heard of them before ever. Like, like who are you?
I've seen people with like 8 million.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, 8 million people have seen you, and I have no idea. Like, who you are. That's crazy, dude.
You have more followers than Chris Pratt. That's cool.
Yeah.
Who are
than
you?
An A-list blockbuster movie star.
Yeah. It's so funny you say Chris. I followed him yesterday. That's so weird.
He's a funny dude.
No, he's awesome, and he's made a hell of a transformation from from being on Parks and Rec, and like I never took him seriously as like, I mean, he was always the funny guy.
He's a funny guy.
He's funny,
and he was hilarious on Parks and Rec, and then I forget what. Was it Guardians of the Galaxy? Was the first one? That might have been the one where he transformed his whole body.
Yeah.
And now he's like A-list, like blockbuster movies.
He's
like
he's doing the whole
women
Jurassic
love
Park.
him. It's crazy. Yeah.
Jurassic Park. No, Steve Cook shouted him out because he was wearing Steve Cook's clothes.
Oh, really?
And on his like Instagram story. Yeah.
Nice. He was in.
And I was like, oh shit, I like this dude. Not because I like Steve too, but I'm just saying like, I like Chris Pratt.
Get what you're saying.
He was in Wanted. I didn't know that. I was watching Wanted.
No shit.
On Netflix. And he's the dude's best friend who's sleeping with his girlfriend.
No shit.
Yeah.
I'll have to rewatch that movie.
Yeah, it caught me by surprise too. Yeah.
That was a pretty decent movie from what I remember.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
That's the one where they curve the bullets?
That is curve the bullet.
It sounds familiar. It's not ringing a bell. I'm not a huge movie guy, so like I hear lines and I'm like, I honestly don't even know what that is. Yeah. Be from my favorite movie.
It's like Angelina Jolie. It's like a bunch of assassins.
That sounds super familiar.
A bunch of assassins, and they can curve bullets around like buildings and fucking corners and shit.
I feel like I've seen that in theaters. Yeah, because I remember that, but I don't remember any else of the movie.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Shout out to Chris Pratt. Getting jacked.
Getting jacked.
I don't know how many Jurassic Park movies they could fucking make though.
Dude, it gets kind of ridiculous.
I don't even know what this one's about.
I don't even know. I think the
Jurassic World.
I think the island
or something. I don't know.
Disintegrating or something.
Yeah, they go back to like save the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know.
Yeah.
It sounds like Jurassic Park 2. Is that the one? That's the one where they like take the dinosaurs to San Diego or whatever. I don't know. The franchises get kind of ridiculous. I think we were talking about this yesterday too, like the Marvel,
dude,
like that whole universe, like how many
it's just gonna keep
movies,
growing.
like they got TV shows, they got like you can't even keep up with it all. Like even if you're a hardcore Marvel fan, there's no way that you're watching every movie, every TV show, reading all the comic books. Like there's just too much.
There's a new Spider-Man every year.
Yep.
I'm like, dude, you tell his story. How many goddamn stories?
They just need to give up on Spider-Man.
I like the current one though. I think the current one is the
I'm
best
sure
one
they're
yet.
all good, but
I forget who.
It's the younger kid.
I don't know. I don't know how you could change the character too. That's always been weird to me.
Yeah.
Or like Ben Affleck was.
I didn't really like
Batman.
Tobey Maguire. Ben Affleck. He gets.
I don't even think I saw that
shit
one though.
For being Batman, but
I like
Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
He's maybe not the best Batman.
I don't think I saw that. I haven't seen a movie in general in a long time.
That was a dark movie.
Really?
Like with lighting, it was just.
Oh, you're not even watching. You're sitting there like they did. Their color correction is pretty bad.
It's like, God damn it! They should have hired me.
No, it's just hard to see some things. Like a lot going on, and it's just black.
No, I agree.
So
It's dark in the sense that the movie was dark, and then the storyline is also very dark. So
Oh,
I wonder if it's symbolic.
I don't know.
don't talk too much shit. You might be on set.
You're on the next one right here. Like,
All those
I'm
guys
not
listening.
and
shit-talking.
then they're going to listen to the podcast like, wait a second, I don't know if I like that TJ guy. Likability gone.
Oh, there we go. He's got all the talent in the world, but he
Do you find yourself doing that since you're like you're making movies and you're into cinematography and stuff, like watching like a blockbuster movie or something and seeing like I would have done it a little differently or something like
Absolutely,
that.
yeah. Or more often than not, I'm like, man, how did they do that?
Yeah.
With a lot of the
Yeah.
CGI and stuff like
Oh,
that
man.
these days, I'm like, oh my gosh, like just the work that goes in, like an Avengers, dude. The amount of work that goes into something
Yeah.
like that.
I've always one of my
It's
like,
almost like overwhelming to
Yeah.
think about. Like
I know.
all like because like just editing a simple YouTube video, like me and Rob will do that, and it's like, dude, this
On
is
Windows
a
Movie
lot.
Maker.
Yeah.
I'm sick at it now, dude. Movie Maker's my bitch, dude.
If you
run
need a
that.
movie maker editor,
I run that.
find Rob.
Put that on Craigslist.
Rob will do it.
Yeah, no, it's kind of overwhelming to think about. Like, I can't imagine like all the moving parts, the color correction, the editing, the sound, the just fucking.
That's
crazy.
That's actually, like I just said, I don't really remember movies or anything. That's actually a huge reason why. Because a lot of times I watch stuff or YouTube videos or like anything like creative and stuff. I don't remember it too much because a lot of times I'm thinking like, how did they actually do that? Or I think about like the scene in my head, like, so this guy had to go stand there and then they came through the door. And then like, I'm thinking about it way too much. I can't help it. It's just the way I am, but same kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's funny.
But I mean, all those jobs that make it all come together, like you hear about a movie making millions and millions of dollars. But it's
Yeah.
like, well, now we have to pay that entire credit crew.
Oh,
know?
for sure.
1,000 people need to get paid.
Yeah, at least 1,000. Yeah. So
Yeah, I wonder how much they profit off those movies. Because you hear all the box office numbers, but yeah, you don't know. I don't know.
You don't factor in like the budget and the marketing and all that. Like,
Yeah. One of my bucket list things has always been to go to like DreamWorks and see how they actually, make like Toy Story or something like that. Because like I just don't get it. Like the whole time I'm watching, I'm like, it just looks so perfect. Like even like the hair blowing in the wind and like, do they have to manipulate every single little tiny thing or like, I just don't understand it.
I'm going to stop you right there, Rob. Toy Story was made by Pixar.
Oh, Pixar.
So
That's awesome. No, that's okay. The little lamp.
I read Ed Catmull's book. He was the president of Pixar, and like he went into all about like how it all became what it is today. Or,
is he still?
Oh,
I don't think he is. I don't think he's still in charge. But it was a great book on management and just leadership.
sick.
And
What's it
how it
called?
Well, now you put me on the spot. What is the name of that book?
Did you really read that?
Yeah.
I read the back, the back cover, the description.
Crook.
I'm gonna get back to you on that. I don't remember the top. Just look up Ed Catmull Pixar.
No, I bet because that Pixar like took off. Like,
Yeah.
After was Toy Story the first one that they made that was like
That's
big?
what comes to
was.
mind.
I think that was like the first hit that they had. But like you think about all the movies that they've made over the years, it's like skyrocket.
Yeah.
So
It's incredible.
But yeah, I'm always just sitting there just blown away by all that stuff. I don't know.
no,
I'd love to get a tour or something.
that'd be super cool, dude.
Yeah.
I guess.
Look it up when you get down there, dude.
Yeah, just saying, dude.
Call one of your
I don't know
homies.
where you're going or what you're doing down there, but
Well, no, I guess when they were making, I think it was Toy Story 2. These guys are super into this, making a good movie. They'll watch it, and they'll rewatch it, and they'll rewatch
sure.
it, and then they go back and fix things and all this kind of stuff. Apparently, like they got so into it that someone left their kid in the car. Like they forgot to drop him off at daycare. Like that's how freaking focused these guys are on that time. It's terrible. And then once they found that out, they were like, "No, stop."
Yeah.
They stopped everything
Damn.
and like big safety stand down, and
Yeah.
figured that stuff out.
It's a good thing that didn't happen in 2018. That dude would be child services
Oh, yeah.
all over
for sure.
all over
Be in
CNN.
jail right now.
The
dude.
child did survive. Just want to put
Oh
that.
man.
It wasn't even.
Question is, did the movie look good?
Yeah.
That's what really
With
matters.
the
here.
details on point.
Yeah, Toy Story 2 was pretty good. I enjoyed that one. But.
What about acting, dude? Is there
Acting.
aspirations to act?
There are some things. Doors are opening.
Yeah.
Have you done any? Yeah.
I've done hosting. The
Oh,
last
that's
couple
right.
Years I did some hosting on a TV show called Celebrity Sweat.
Wow.
It was on Spike. and then I think it's on A&E now.
Yeah.
And so that was a really neat show. It's with Eric the trainer, who's a celebrity fitness trainer in LA.
Yeah. We actually met him at an expo.
Oh, did you?
He came by and
a couple times.
he follows us on Instagram and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
He's dope.
He's awesome.
He's awesome.
He's got a
Super
lot
nice
of
guy.
energy.
So much energy.
Yeah, super nice guy.
And then Billy Blanks.
Yeah.
Big arms too.
He's got big arms. Yeah.
He's yoked.
Yeah,
Yeah, I forgot
I
about
was
that.
not expecting that.
No. We were like, damn, Eric,
He's
what
thick.
the fuck?
He's so thick.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
But so I've gotten to do some hosting on that show with them.
How'd you get hooked up with them? How'd like that whole opportunity come around?
So go back many years. Let's go back to 2008. I started a production company in Las Vegas. We were shooting TV commercials, weddings, anything under the sun, nightclub videos, promos, whatever.
How old are you right now?
29.
Okay.
And so
So you did this when you were 19?
Yep.
Damn, that's crazy.
And so
All you 19-year-olds out there, get your ass off the couch.
You're slacking.
get up. Someone's taking it away from me, I promise.
Yeah.
And so my next door neighbor, I was living with my parents at the time in Vegas, or my mom and stepdad out there. And so my next door neighbor, he was outside cleaning his car, washing his car, whatever. And I was like, it was a Bentley Coupe, and I was like, that's a really nice car. I was like, I like your car, man, that type of thing. I was just saying hi. And he's like, oh, thanks, brother. And he's a big smoking guy. And so I go up, introduce myself and stuff. And his name's Ray Seffo. He owns the Professional Fighters League for that's on NBC.
Yeah.
And so we kind of became friends over the next couple months and whatnot. And he was like a big K1 fighter. He was like 6-time
K1,
world
yeah, I
champ,
remember that.
kickboxer.
Yeah.
Just him and Mark Hunt have a fight that is just one for the books, dude. They both like drop their hands and just punching each other in the face.
I've probably seen this guy.
Phenomenal. But
You've definitely seen him.
he's awesome, dude. So anyways, he was outside again one time. I'm like, hey, Ray, how's it going? And I told him my idea of starting a production company. And so I was like, do you think he trained at Randy Couture's gym in Vegas, Extreme Couture? I was like, do you think Randy would want a video for free? Like I want to just try out some video work. And he's like, oh, let me ask. And so he put me in contact with the management over there. And one thing led to another. And I got the opportunity to go in there and shoot this 3-day long wrestling camp, which was a lot more than I had anticipated. Right. But it was these guys, they paid and they get to come train with Randy and the head coaches out there for the weekend. And so I had a camera crane, I had glide cam, all this kind of stuff. Me and my buddy, dude, just ripping it. And so we did all this filming and whatnot. And Randy came up and shook our hands and, kind of said thanks for coming out and all this kind of stuff. And we actually became friends after that and, would see each other on occasion and whatnot. And then we just stayed in contact. And he actually wrote one of my letters for flight school. You have to get letters of recommendation, which was a kind of getting off topic here. But he writes a letter and I go to the board where you get interviewed to go fly for the Army. And at the end of it, they're asking the questions like, all right, so one more question. I was like, yes, sir. He's like, is this a real letter from Randy Couture? I was like, yes, sir, it is.
This was probably back when like Randy was like running shit in the
He was
the man.
He was huge.
Yeah, he was the man.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
So anyways, fast forward to 2015, 2014. Randy was having a charity push-up competition with Marcus Luttrell from Lone Survivor.
Yeah.
And so it was Team Luttrell versus Team Couture. And so I had talked to Randy, and he's like, hey, you're going to be in town. I want you, come do push-ups on my team or whatever. I was like, yeah, absolutely. And so I go down there, and Eric, the trainer, is good friends with John McCarthy, the MMA ref.
Big John.
Big John.
Oh, dude, yeah.
And so
he's so tight.
So we were all doing the push-up thing together, and Eric and I just kind of started talking about fitness, and one thing led to another. They ended up coming up. The TV show came up to Washington when my unit moved up there, and they were like, "Hey, can we shoot an episode with the base?" And I was like I was the public affairs officer for my unit. I was like, "Well, you certainly can."
Funny that you say.
Yeah. I approve.
Yeah.
And so they came up and, they were on the helicopter doing push-ups and doing a workout with all of us and stuff. And then just stayed in contact. Lisa, she's the producer of the show, super sweet lady. We stayed in contact and stuff. And she's like, do you want to try hosting on this episode? And I was like, yeah, it went well. And then it just kind of, snowballed from there. And been doing it, on and off for awesome. Been busy with the Army stuff, but now I think it's opening up a little bit more.
So. Yeah, so you're already probably very used to being in front of the camera too.
Yeah, I'm not too uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people, you hit, the red button syndrome. You're all good, and then you start recording, and everybody's like, "Ugh,"
Say something.
Yeah, you're like, what do you do? What happened? What are you doing right now?
Yeah.
It's crazy because like nothing will change. And
I'm up here
it's,
with my hands.
Yeah.
What do I do with my hands?
That's so true. I'll be at my house like totally normal, just by myself, and I'll start making a video that I sound like an idiot, and I'm like, what am I doing? Like, like no one's even here right now. I don't know.
or you like,
But you get better.
You're imagining yourself filming. And you're like, I look like such a douchebag right
Yeah. Or I'm like, wow, there's a lot of people watching this right now. Like that's what I think about when I'm.
I
don't
feel
know.
super awkward shooting. I can't do this in public.
Yeah.
That's
a
it's
talent.
it's not even that I care what other people think. I just feel weird doing it.
Oh,
Yeah.
it is. It's super. It's odd. I have a lot of respect for people. I'm
Yeah.
trying to get better at it, but
Yeah.
it's difficult.
I can do it on my phone pretty easily. Like once you realize that people really actually don't give a shit,
Yeah.
then you'll start doing it. Like you'll do it like 5 times, and you're like, wow, no one, like nothing
It's
happened.
pretty common.
You know?
these
Yeah,
days,
I don't know. It's like anything. You just got to keep
Yeah.
doing
I
it.
can
But
see
yeah, at first
I always
it's
have to do
fucking
like
weird.
5 takes though. So I'm
Oh,
going
yeah.
back. All right, try to get it.
Oh, dude, I think the vast majority of stuff you see on like Instagram stories is like it's probably that person's 10
Oh, 100%.
all the time. dude.
99% of the time
Yeah,
when
for
I
sure.
upload a story to Instagram, I've filmed it probably 7 times.
Yeah.
At least. No
Oh,
less
dude.
than 7 times.
Everybody's like that, dude, for sure.
And by the time I get to the one that I'm like, this is postable, I'm just like so pissed off. And it's like, I don't even care if
Delete.
it's not
Yeah.
as good as the first one. I'm
Yeah.
posting it because I'm not going to record it again.
No, it's super relatable, dude, for sure.
It's crazy to think like, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago, to like imagine like seeing a bunch of people walking down the street filming themselves with a phone. Like,
Yeah.
like that was completely not even on the radar.
Yep. And
With
it looks
flip
like
phones.
on the topic of Instagram, I think they're going to hour-long videos, like we were talking about.
Dude, that's going to be crazy.
Yeah, so it means
Oh,
they must
on
be
your-
coming out with a player.
What do you mean?
You can upload
Hour-long videos.
On your story, you can just
No.
or on your
Like
on your
page,
post,
yeah.
like
timeline,
Yeah.
or whatever they call it.
They're going to have to redo
Hour?
Yeah. They're going to have to redo the whole app though. Like you got to
Dude,
add in like a play
that's
button,
crazy.
you got to make full screen like
Which will be cool
When
if
did
you
they
can
announce
rotate
that?
it then.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of neat.
it'd be nice
They
if you
just
could-
announced that.
like
I
a
don't
week
even
ago.
really, yeah, I saw it on some stock market news actually, so I don't know what the,
I feel like 10 minutes would be long.
Dude, I can't imagine like
That's a
why.
long
I
video.
already spend too much time on
Yeah.
Instagram. I can't imagine like now the videos are fucking more than like in a minute.
I'm trying to think of how people can.
Well, they're trying to get rid of
Utilize
YouTube.
that.
They're going to try to take YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh,
And it makes sense
That
because
makes
YouTube
sense.
pissed off a lot of people.
that makes a lot of
And
sense.
so
The-
now Instagram wants to.
Yeah, that'd be good for us.
The attention span though.
Oh, yeah.
I know.
Who's going to sit down and watch an hour-long video?
That's dude. I'll spend a day editing a cool video. Like I went out with my buddy. He's got Audi R8, so we was like, oh, dude, cool shots and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, every shot's cool.
Yeah, every shot's cool,
It's
right?
an easy video to make.
And so we found it, put it on Instagram, and it did okay.
Yeah.
It didn't get the same reaction I thought it was going to get. A couple comments, and then I put on some like 15-second like random ass video, and it just blows up.
Oh,
I'm like,
dude.
really?
Zero editing.
Zero
in.
editing, just fresh
Oh,
out of the
dude.
camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny.
It is frustrating.
Yep.
Yeah.
You just never know.
No. But I think that's kind of why I just started putting on stuff that I think is cool. Whether I don't care how it goes.
Yeah.
Like I think it's
Yeah.
cool, so I'm posting it.
When you were telling that story about when you first started and you did the Randy Couture thing,
Mm-hmm.
I actually like what I was thinking about was how you wanted to do that and you wanted to make these videos and stuff, but at that time there was probably no social media,
No.
right?
No, I mean,
But you still wanted
Facebook.
to make wanted to
Facebook
make
was, like, the
videos
big one.
and I don't know, that just I mean a lot of people get into this stuff and make videos and stuff to try to get popular on social media. But you did it straight out of like just a love of
I think
cinematography.
I think there's far too many people chasing a dollar or chasing, something that they think is cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't say think is cool, but like, I'm passionate about making stuff. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I can sit down at an editing desk, and I could be there for 3 hours. And be like, oh shit,
Yeah, and it goes by hella
I need
fast.
to eat.
Dude, for sure.
And
I know
so-
exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, and it's like I think
That's funny.
more people spend more time finding what they're passionate about and just doing that. I think if you're the best at something, it's super cool. If you're the best street sweeper in the world, I'm like, well, that's kind of cool. I just met the best street sweeper in the world.
You're like, I want to go watch him sweep.
Yeah.
See how legit he is.
yeah, just far too many people not doing something cool that they like doing.
Yeah, and those people chasing the popularity and chasing the dollar
Yeah.
aren't the ones getting the dollar.
Yeah.
It's
No.
the people
No, it's
that are
never.
passionate.
Yeah.
Every single time, dude.
Because you'll run out of gas if you're not
Yeah.
passionate about it. You're gonna run out of gas.
Yeah, exactly.
I think some aspect of that is like it's so easy now to make content. It's so easy to like get your content out there, like through all social medias. Everyone has like a high quality camera right at their disposal. And so it used to be like you had to put in all this work to get to that point. And so like it would weed itself out right away. Like obviously if I'm not passionate about photography, I'm not going to spend, $1,000 on some camera equipment and, learning how to use it and put all this time in, because it's not going to pay off for a while. Yep. But now you can upload some video to YouTube and all of a sudden it gets viral for whatever reason, and you're making, a couple $1,000 and and then they're like, oh, it's just easy. And they're not passionate about it. They just see the money.
And they burn out.
Yeah. And it doesn't
does like the pro to that is that it gives a lot more people opportunities.
Oh, 100%.
Like you may have maybe a super unfortunate person, their finances aren't there or whatever, but now if they have a phone, they have an opportunity to be creative. They could be the most creative person in the world, but now they have a chance in this day and age, which is pretty sweet. So, but then you have 99% of the people are just like doing it just to do it or trying to be cool or whatever, but all their shit goes away. Yep. They always burn out. Or like you'll see a bunch of videos and then you won't see one for a year. Yep. But if you're passionate like you're going to want to do that every day.
It's just fun stuff, dude. I like making cool shit, I think it's fun.
That's it. Should be your bio.
Yeah, it almost is. Yeah, I think it says I used to fly Apaches. Now I do other fun shit. Like,
there you go, dude.
Yeah, but
you're always doing cool shit. It looks like every time I go on your Instagram, you're up in like Alaska, like flying helicopters.
That's the American dream, isn't it?
Or we were on Destination Nowhere together.
Yeah.
Like
that was fun. That was a lot of fun, man. I cannot, talk about the powerful business tool that Instagram is. A lot. It's not just posting pictures of your food like it used to be. Now you can reach out and talk to anybody.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'd post an Apache picture, right? And so I get a comment on it and I'd be like, oh, who is this? And I look it up and this guy owns a helicopter company up in Canada. He's a friend of mine. His name's Ed, and he owns Hunter helicopters. And he had just wrote something like, oh, badass Apache video or something generic. And I was like, oh, thanks, dude. It looks like you're flying up there too. We should, go flying sometime. DMs me, hey, dude, here's my number. Let's go flying sometime.
Yeah, dude.
And now we're up in Canada, and I was just up there 2 months ago for my 6th trip or something like that.
Yeah.
We're linking up with Red Bull Pro FMX,
That's
bikers
crazy.
just jumping dirt bikes with helicopters hovering and drones flying. I'm like, all from a comment on Instagram, dude. Like, are you shitting me?
For sure.
That's amazing.
That's the definition of sliding into the DMs right there.
Fuck.
That's the good kind of sliding in the DMs right there.
Yeah, so Hunter helicopters, if you're going to Canada, best tour out there, I promise.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
that's awesome.
Yeah.
The networking aspect of social media is just insane.
Yeah, dude, you know what? I genuinely like meeting new people.
Mm-hmm.
Just I think
Yeah.
they're interesting. If they're doing fun stuff and they're passionate about it, I think it's fun to be around them.
Yeah.
And it's a very similar story with how I had met my friend Aaron, who owns Airborne Images in LA, which he flies the Red Bull helicopter now. And we started talking on Instagram, same deal. I was like, oh, you fly, you do some cool stuff with the cameras and the A-Star and stuff. And so we had exchanged numbers, and he's like, yeah, hit me up in LA. We'll grab some lunch or something. So I go down to LA for some Celebrity Sweat stuff. And I was down there. I was on my last day, actually. And I was getting ready to kind of just chill out and get ready to go to the airport or whatever. And I shoot him a text. I'm like, hey, dude, I'm here for like 5 more hours before going to the airport. If you want to link up, grab some lunch. It's my last day. And he's like, oh, just come on down to the hangar. I was like, okay, we can go grab some lunch from there or whatever. So I take an Uber down there, and I get to the gate or whatever, and he picks me up outside the gate. And we start driving in. And at the time, I didn't know that he worked with Red Bull. Mm-hmm. And so we pull up to the hangar, and I see the Red Bull helicopter there. I'm like, is this your hangar? He's like, yeah. He's like, do you want to go flying? I was like, yeah.
Dude, it's like, what kind of question is that? Obviously, hell yes, dude.
Yeah. And so I'm immediately taking a picture and like sending it. I'm like, my friends aren't going to believe this shit. Like, you know, other Army pilots and stuff.
For sure.
And dude. And so we end up going flying, and Chase Bird goes up, one of his buddies, his name Sparrow or Sorrow. Sorry, Sorrow. And Sorrow. And he flies a little MD-500. And it's like a littler helicopter, but super fun to fly. Mm-hmm. So we both go out and we're just buzzing around and stuff. And this is a no bullshit story. I looked down at the clock, and I think my flight left at 5 o'clock or something like that, and it was like 3. And I'm in North Hollywood. That's a good 2 hour with traffic getting down. I'm like, I'm gonna miss my flight. I tell him, I'm like, hey, dude, I'm like, I think I need to get back to the airport because I gotta go. And you gotta take an Uber back. He's like, he gets on the radio. He's like, hey, what are you doing after we land? He's talking to Sora, and he's like, oh, nothing. He's like, can you take TJ to the airport? And he's like, yeah, no problem. And so I'm thinking, oh, good, I can save cash on an Uber. So we, he's gonna hook me up, and I can throw him a couple bucks. And so we land. He moves my bags from the Red Bull helicopter into the 500, and I fly to the airport. I'm like, are you shitting me? We're passing all this traffic. He's like, oh, you want to see a Hollywood sign? I was like, yeah. And so we buzz right past the Hollywood sign. I'm like, this is insane. And got flown to the airport.
You made the flight?
Yeah, I made the flight.
That's fucking Jesus.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. Instagram, dude.
Yeah, that's the moral of the story.
If you're
Get
not
on your
flying,
phones.
Yeah, if you're not flying around the Hollywood sign, you're doing Instagram wrong.
Yeah.
Like that's a message.
No, just
It's not just
good
ass
people.
pictures. It's networking.
There's I don't even like the term networking, to be honest with you.
Well, it's a social. It's
I
a
just like
social
making
media,
friends.
yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah. That's what we try to do with our company, really. It's like, I don't know, even on like, if somebody tweets at us or leaves a comment or something, I actually try to have like a conversation with them. You know what I mean? Or if they DM me something and I'm like, I actually have a conversation. Like, you can go through my DMs right now. There's a bunch of people on there that I have no idea who they are. And full length conversations about stuff. And it's cool. And now we know these people. And now every time I do anything, it's like they're always there.
Yeah.
They're always supportive. And if they do something dope, like, I don't know. I genuinely want them to see them do well.
No, it's super cool.
Yeah.
Super cool. And like the speaking of DMs, our DMs are probably a little bit different. I have a lot of high school kids.
Yo, please elaborate. please elaborate.
He's got some dick pics in his. That's what he's saying.
A tremendous amount of high school kids shoot me DMs and they ask, how do I become a helicopter pilot? How do I do all this kind of stuff?
Oh, okay.
And that's cool. I love talking about it. I had someone help me out, and I love the opportunity to help other people out.
Yeah.
And I kind of just tell them what I did, that type of thing. But I had this one person DM me, and they're like, hey, do you have any advice for getting into the flight program or whatever? I was like, yeah, and the main thing I tell people is jump on the forums, jump military.com, aviation forums. Every single question you can have about flying in the Army is answered right there. And so I was like, yeah, military.com, aviation forums. So they're like, okay, thanks. Next day, I get another message from them like, hey, so I went on the forums and I didn't see anything. I was like, did you go in the aviation part? Like, well, no. I was like, all right, if you don't have enough fucking energy or focus to go and do this, I was doing this when I was 16 years old, dude.
Yeah.
I need you to get on it and
show
a little bit of aptitude.
Right, exactly. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I always get the questions about like, how do I start a clothing brand or how do I do something like that? And I can usually tell within a few messages if this person like really has it.
Yeah.
Even like formulating a sentence properly.
Yep.
They can't even do like proper grammar of like a fourth grader. You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't know how you're gonna. I don't know. There's no way it's gonna pan out. But then I'll meet some kid who may be like 15 or 16, and they're already like, they seem so professional and stuff. I'm like, this guy's got the chops.
No, you can tell.
To do it. Yeah, I don't know. I just have my gut feeling. This is how it is. So.
Yep. Even tomorrow, we're shooting a video with Air 3. We're doing some cool video with a plane, and one of my buddies here in Grants Pass. I met him through. He's actually a friend of my dad's. It's his son, and he's 14 years old. Flies drones around, goes and does. He'll fly drone for a wedding or something like that, and he's passionate about it. He's good at it.
Yeah.
Well-rounded kid, polite. I'm like, yeah, dude. You're gonna come fly with me. You're gonna come do the Inspire 2 stuff, and I'm gonna pay you.
You're gonna make
some
his
money.
day. Like,
yeah, he's gonna love it.
He's gonna be stoked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm stoked. It's fun stuff.
Yeah, it's fun, and you're making a huge impact on that kid. Like he's gonna remember that for years,
Absolutely.
and like when he becomes a successful
Give it back.
filmmaker, it's just gonna pay it forward.
Yep.
Yeah. And the cool thing about bringing on people that are like passionate is like they're thinking about what they're passionate about the whole time.
Yep.
They're not thinking like, oh, I'm doing this, I'm gonna be so cool online. Like when people see this,
I can't wait to take a picture and put this on Instagram.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but meanwhile, the shit's growing faster than other people that are thinking like that. You know what I mean? Because they're just doing such a damn good job.
Yep.
So,
well, passion's key. Like if that's the biggest thing. Like it's like if you were really passionate about like the kid that messaged you, if he was really passionate about being a fighter pilot or Apache pilot, he would be doing all the research possible on top of asking for your help. Like, it's not just, oh, give me the magic answer so I don't have to do any of the work. Like,
It's true.
it doesn't matter how much work you have to put in because you're passionate about it. It doesn't feel like work.
Yeah. And when you don't get an answer, you're gonna keep going. You know what I mean? It's gonna, because the passion is gonna fuel you to keep going. So
No, it's even on the video stuff. I've never taken one film class. I take that. I did one film history class. It was nothing with editing, nothing with shot composition or anything like that. I've never done any of that, and I have become a fairly successful videographer, producer, whatever you want to call it.
right.
And it's just like, I would rather have someone on my team who's passionate like that than someone who went to a film university and paid $100,000. Like,
For
sorry,
sure.
like this guy loves what he does. He's not just out here to make some money,
It's the real world experience outweighs everything.
Yep.
For the most part. I mean, obviously in some aspects in some professions, having the book smarts is obviously
Absolutely.
essential.
I don't need a doctor who's passionate. I'm like, listen, guy, I understand.
I
But
want the guy that graduated top of his class. I'm not trying to get
don't
a
get
guy.
it mixed. Don't get it twisted there.
But
Like context.
yeah, but we were kind of talking about this last time, and it's like, like there's trainers out there, like personal trainers, strength coaches and stuff, and there's, you could be super good, know all like the physiology and the kinesiology and everything about that, but then you have no idea how to translate that into a real world setting. It's like, it's kind of similar. You could be the best technical filmmaker there is, but if you can't, find a good shot, it doesn't matter,
Yeah, or you could have like a master's degree in marketing, but you haven't tried marketing anything in 6 years.
Yeah.
So your degree doesn't. You have to be, studying it
Yeah.
consistently, frequently. So
Absolutely. Absolutely.
that's kind of cool to hear that you don't have any experience in it. Well, I'm kind of similar in that way, but
Just YouTube.
yeah.
And
most people I know
YouTube.
actually are kind of like that.
Oh,
YouTube University.
YouTube University.
Yeah.
You can learn anything on YouTube.
YouTube, that'd be hilarious if YouTube came out with like
an academy,
like a
or-
little I don't know, little certificate that you get.
Dude,
apply for it.
you've watched a million videos.
You've
There
watched
you go.
X amount of hours of footage about this topic.
Yeah, you're a professional.
That's funny. That's funny as fuck, dude.
If I ever have to fill out another resume, I'll throw that on there.
Dude.
YouTube University.
Dude, I mean, we laugh, but I think we're going to see a culture shift in the next 10, 20 years of people going from the universities to more like kind of just jumping into things with trying to get that word like internships almost at the company.
Yeah.
Because like I have friends who are still paying off massive student debts and they don't have a job.
No, for sure.
Like,
That's how
well, you have the degree. Why don't you have the job?
it doesn't mean
'cause
shit nowadays.
Yeah. I mean, that's a cool piece of paper, bro. But
It's funny. I actually saw like a really big name in the fitness industry this morning tweet out something about like hiring people, and she was like, "I don't give a fuck about your resume or anything like that, or where you went to school or anything. If you want to work with me, come here, work with me for 3 hours, and then if you can keep up and do a good job, then I'll hire you.
wow.
That's it. So just if anybody wants to show up and think they can do it, then let's go."
Yeah.
And she, I was like, yeah, how can you disagree? I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
if you can do a good job,
Yeah.
what else matters?
Yep.
No,
I agree completely. Like
yeah,
the shift is definitely like, especially with the internet, and you don't need to go to these big universities. Like you could take,
right.
a small course. Like they have those cool master courses now. I saw something.
Yeah, I've seen those.
I forget what the website is, but it's like a master class. It's like you sign up for it, and they have some legit professional, and they have all these videos. It's maybe like 10 videos, and it just walks you through some subject. Like I think they had a filmmaking one, and they maybe had, I think it was Ron Howard. And he was teaching you how to direct and like put together, a story.
They had like Dead Mouse and Hans Zimmer. I'm like, geez, that'd be kind of cool, actually.
It's
So.
cool.
I think I saw an ad for that.
Yeah,
I saw a Dead Mouse ad or something.
And it's a cool concept, because like
Yeah.
you learn a lot
makes
more
sense.
from that person than you would at maybe a super expensive school. And
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yep, where you're going to go to your math class and your English class and your.
Yeah.
I'm like, I went to UNLV. Like, I know what you guys went through. Like,
Yeah.
it's none of that benefits me today.
right.
My phone's a great calculator. I speak pretty good English.
Yeah, right.
Like, I can formulate a sentence.
Well, you're hired. I like you already.
Yeah.
When was the last time I had to use like fucking like
Dude, I don't remember shit from high school.
what was that Pythagorean theorem?
Pythagorean theory.
Yeah, like
I forgot about
they're
that.
like, oh yeah, you're gonna use that. Like, when was the last time I used that?
Oh man,
I wasted so many hours learning that.
I feel like it'd be hard, like knowing there's so much information out there and knowing that teaching that probably doesn't matter as much these days.
Oh yeah,
I wonder if it's hard to teach that because you're giving these people this stuff, and you're like, you know, it doesn't matter. Especially like the youth growing up are becoming those teachers and math teachers and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like they must, I don't know, or the kids listening to people say what we're saying.
yeah.
Like, do you really think a lot of kids are paying that much attention in class these days? I mean, compared to like 10 years ago,
Nowadays,
no
like,
fucking way.
well, I think nowadays, like for example, like long division and shit, like they're still teaching that, but it's more so to teach you how to problem solve. It's
Yeah.
not necessarily like the actual concept of long division. It's more of how do you go through a step to step to figure a problem out.
Yeah, right.
Try pirating software. That'll teach you problem solving.
Yeah, right.
That in high school, man, holy cow. Trying to crack something. I'm like,
LimeWire?
how do I fix this?
I was a LimeWire guy. I got in trouble for LimeWire in college.
Did you?
Yeah, I got called out to the, I don't know, the admin office or something.
FBI was coming in.
And I walked there and I got an email saying you have to come down there. No idea what it was for. And I was like, oh shit, like what did I do? Like I probably didn't pay for something. I don't know. And I go down there and they're like, yeah, we've detected you're using this software, and some record label reached out to Idaho State.
Wow.
And they were like,
How much music were you downloading,
dude? Shit, probably a lot. I don't know. But yeah, and they're like, yeah, you have to get rid of it now, or because if you don't, then we'll take away your internet for the year in your dorm. So I was like, all right, so I got rid of it. But I was like, shit, that they actually, because I used to be the person that was like, there's no way I'm gonna, like, nobody actually gets caught, you know? And then, dude, I got
And
fucked.
then you got caught.
Yeah, I'm just glad I wasn't like screwed right away. Like,
Yeah.
but
They just slap you with
no,
like
it was some
$100,000.
huge. God damn it, who was that? Some really popular. Like you guys would totally know who it is. Whatever.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
My math teacher, going back to math real quick.
Yeah.
My math teacher laughed at me when I said I was going to fly helicopters in the Army because I had an F in
Oh,
algebra.
really?
He's like,
What-
you're not flying anything.
What's his name?
Oh, that would be Mr. Can I do that?
Yeah.
Can I call him out on that?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, Mr. Huckleberry. Yeah.
No way.
No, that's not a
I
real name.
swear to
There's
God.
no way that's a real name.
I swear to God, he laughed. He laughed.
Oh man.
Now we're laughing.
I mean,
How about that, Mr. Huckleberry?
no, I don't know. Been there, done that. So
Mr. Huckleberry.
Too bad you couldn't just like fly your Apache and just land at the school and be like, "Where's Huckleberry?"
where is
That's a sick idea, dude. Definitely record that.
Yep.
That would go viral for sure.
Dude, I don't think I ever had that.
I had a terrible GPA.
I had a really bad GPA.
Yeah.
I was a horrible student.
Yeah. No, I wasn't dumb. I just enjoyed doing other stuff.
Yeah. Same thing.
I'm with you 100%, dude.
Yeah. So
The only two classes I ever did well in everything else was like a C or lower. Was I had a creative writing class. And I got an A in that because I just always been into writing and stuff. And then a marketing class in college. And other than that, every other class I was just a piece of shit.
yeah.
Never learned anything because I didn't care. It was
Right.
like
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
It's
remember.
hard to pay attention to stuff you just don't care about.
I remember my GPA was like, I think it was like in the high twos,
Yeah.
whatever. And then my senior year, we had to take the SAT, and so I studied for the SAT, and then I went and took it, and I did really well on the SAT. And my mom looked at it and she was like, how the fuck do you have a 2.9? Like clearly you're just fucking around, like.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's just not interesting. Like I
Yeah.
was interested in
Yeah.
other things. Like I was interested in football and I
Yeah.
didn't care about fucking algebra and calculus and all that type of shit. Like,
Yeah, it's funny because like the vast majority of I listen to a lot of like really successful business guys and motivational speakers and stuff like that, and almost every single one that I'm thinking about right now had super shitty grades, like
Yeah.
didn't care about school, like you dropped out, didn't even go to college. Like everybody has the same story. That's always
It
been
is
super
weird.
fascinating.
Yeah.
yeah, because it was never like I listened to them and I'm like, oh dude, I don't need school. It is what it is. Like you relate to these people, you don't even realize it.
just goes back to the passion thing, you know. Like,
Yeah. I don't know.
I
I
think
feel like I'm really good at stuff that, I have no education,
yeah,
in quotes, in.
But you're
compared to other
interested.
people. But I'm like, I'm so fascinated. I have to learn everything about it when other people don't.
The I think it was Tony Robbins. I think it was Tony Robbins who said that. He's like, if you're passionate about something and you do it long enough and you get good enough at it, eventually someone's going to pay you to do it.
Yeah, 100%.
100%. Yeah.
So,
Tony Robbins,
Dude,
gangster.
I was thinking about him yesterday, dude. Because I was thinking about like The Rock running for president. I'm like, dude, if Tony Robbins ran for president, would anybody not vote for him? He's like Jesus, pretty much.
They would for
How
sure.
do you hate-
They'd find something about him. They
For
dig
sure.
something up. He has something.
I don't know.
crazy.
He's like, I feel like he's like, I don't know. I don't know what you could say bad about him,
Imagine what if it was like The Rock and Tony Robbins was like VP.
wow.
dude.
The charisma.
The
of
charisma.
that.
Dude, that'd be so tight. God damn.
Tony Robbins is like a giant. I think he's bigger than The Rock.
Yeah, I think he's
He's like 6'6" or
He's
6'8".
massive, I heard.
I think he's like 6'8".
Yeah.
Yeah, banana
big
hands.
Yeah,
Remember
right.
that from Shallow Hell?
Shallow hell.
The Rock is
I don't know why I
impressive.
forget that.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Especially when
Yeah,
he
that'd be
meets
cool.
people. It's like, oh, what is your name? It doesn't matter what your name is.
Saturday Night Live would have so much fun. If The
Oh my
Rock
God, it'd be
became
so.
president.
Dude, he'd go on Saturday Night Live.
Oh, he would.
God damn. Yeah, we were actually talking about that in the car, Mooney and I, the other day, about how I was saying, like, if he ran for president, like, everybody likes The Rock.
Yeah.
You know, everybody, like, looks up to it, but, like, if you ran for president now, in theory, like, half of the people out there would dislike him a lot for something. Yeah. And you're like, you're losing. I don't know if he cares too much about that. But it would just suck to see people, like, everybody just ridiculing him over, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. And you know they all grew up watching him and stuff.
And you know that he could whoop all their candy asses.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the best
Rudy
part.
Poos.
Rudy Poo candy ass.
Damn. It doesn't. What's the policy here? It doesn't matter what the policy.
He's just like he's at some
That'd be so
fucking, like,
sick.
meeting and he just rock bottoms some dude through a table.
Oh, dude.
God, I miss 90s wrestling.
Josh Brolin. He's been showing up on the Instagram on my thing a lot, and he had his sunglasses on one time, and it was on the Explorer, so I just clicked on it.
Yeah.
And he's
That name doesn't even. Who is that?
he's in like Sicario. He played in
Oh.
Avengers. He was like the bad guy.
Okay.
Thanos.
He's in Deadpool
He's in a
2.
lot of
I've probably
stuff.
seen him.
He's in a
Probably
lot
seen
of
him.
movies.
Yeah. But he's got his sunglasses on, and he's like, "What's up, guys? It's The Rock." Just doing the typical. And he's like, "Just kidding, it's me, Josh." But I see The Rock do that. That was pretty funny.
Dude.
He's killing it.
Yeah,
too.
he is.
And he has a cool story too because he didn't like really become that big until like his late in his life. Like
Well, The Goonies was pretty big.
yeah.
But yeah,
Was he in The Goonies?
He was. He was the older brother.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
I-
But yeah,
That's a hell of a good movie.
like he didn't have a huge career
No.
after that.
No.
Like that didn't skyrocket him. But like he's been in a lot of things the last like 5-6 years. Like
similar story to like Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
He kind of fell. He had his little fall and then skyrocketed.
oh yeah,
Huh.
Iron Man.
I don't know what his story is.
He used to be like a drugs or alcohol, one of those.
Yeah.
He was like a big
That's-
time
Wow.
into
Some
that.
issues.
Huge partier.
Damn.
And I think he probably went to rehab a few times, maybe.
Shit.
And then he got clean, and
Hey, that's
He's
the pass, man.
now he's
That's
On to the next thing.
Now he's Iron Man.
Yeah. Well, shit, C.T. Fletcher always talks about how he didn't get famous until he was like 50 or something.
And
That's crazy.
I think that's what a lot of people will need to realize is like sometimes you gotta just keep.
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen right away all the time. You know, some people, are able to become like famous from the get go, like Bieber and like I don't
Yeah.
know, some of those child stars, and
Viral.
they go big. But a lot of people that they're putting in work over decades, and
Yeah.
eventually it pays off. It doesn't always pay off right away. So you just gotta the consistency over time.
Well, even people like Bieber, like we didn't see what his parents had to go through, or
Right, exactly.
how many record labels they got denied from, and
He was found on
I don't know.
YouTube, I think.
Yeah, I think he was.
oh really?
Yeah.
Dude, I remember him getting popular. I was a freshman in college because we were like, "Who the fuck is this kid?" You know what I mean? He was just like a kid. Like, who the fuck is this kid? But his song was always playing and stuff, and whatever. Never thought he'd be who he is today. But yeah, I remember that like it's fucking yesterday. It's crazy.
Yep.
He's actually tight now.
Yeah,
He's just so weird and like he's such an idiot, but he's the man.
Hopefully he's not listening to this. He's like, fuck that.
Oh, hopefully he is fucking listening to this.
Rob. Not listening
Shout out,
anymore,
Beebs.
man. You just
Shout out, Beebs. I said he's dope.
after you called him an idiot.
I think I said that right. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, Beebs.
Yeah. Should we? You want to do some rapid fire questions? for
Yeah.
TJ?
Start it off.
Rapid fire. All
Oh,
right.
yeah. We have a few staple questions that we ask everybody.
Okay.
So this determines whether or not you're ever invited back.
Oh, okay.
No pressure.
Yeah, no pressure.
I'd say these answers quick.
No.
Oh, okay.
We just say rapid fire.
I was
but
like getting ready.
usually the questions get expanded and it ends up not being very rapid fire.
Okay.
First one. Do you like pineapple on pizza?
I don't.
Oh,
Damn.
Yeah, I don't. I actually don't like pineapple on anything.
And there's the door.
Whoa. I like pineapple.
I like pineapple by itself. I don't like it on anything else.
That's weird.
Oh. Okay.
Like
Yeah.
I'm down then.
Yeah, yeah.
What else would you put it on?
like yogurt?
Nothing.
Like yogurt?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe a little.
Ice cream?
Pineapple
No,
by itself
absolutely
is fucking
I-
good.
Pineapple with other fruits?
Yeah, I can do that. I can do that.
Dude, I hate when they mix it with the cantaloupe and the honeydew.
Why?
Fucking hate that, dude. Those are the worst fruits on earth. They taste like nothing.
Cantaloupe is kind of shitty.
I don't know. I just don't.
Which one's the
Just don't
green
taste
one?
that much.
Honeydew.
Yeah, I'm not a huge honeydew fan.
Nah,
Cantaloupe's
I'm
good,
always
though.
like,
The problem is nowadays, like everyone assumes everything's always in season, but it's not always in season.
Oh,
so you
yeah.
don't always get like if you get a good honeydew that's ripe and
yeah.
delicious.
Dude, I got screwed at Denny's once that with that whole in season shit. I was like, yeah, can I get fruit instead of whatever? And she's like, yeah, okay, cool. And she brings out this is right in town. She brings out nothing but honeydew and cantaloupe in this like big bowl.
And
I'm like, wow, this is a nightmare already. What else you got for
there
me?
goes your tip.
Yeah.
Speaking of Denny's, before we continue the rapid fire, what about IHOP? Is no longer IHOP.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
IHOP. Yeah.
IHOP.
Temporary thing, I think.
Is it temporary?
Yeah, I think they're just trying to draw attention to the burgers, from what I heard.
Oh, probably.
Yeah. 'Cause
I would
they were
hope
showing
so.
the burgers,
I thought it was
so-
like a. I don't know. My gut feeling was like, there's no way.
Yeah, I think it's
There's no fucking
Yeah,
way.
it can't be a full
No.
like name
Yeah.
change, right?
No.
Yeah, they're all probably at their headquarters right now, like laughing their ass off, dude. Because everybody's making fun of it. Like Burger King changed their Twitter name to Pancake King,
Did they?
and then yeah,
shit.
they did it for like a day, and then Whataburger, changed it to What a Pancake, and like somebody else, I don't know. It's funny.
That is funny.
All right. Anyway, moving on. What about coconut? Do you enjoy coconut?
Like water?
No, just the flavor.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, cool.
I think that's the first time ever
Yeah.
that somebody's completely agreed with you.
For sure.
Yeah,
And,
no.
and
Yeah, it
you're
feels
no
weird.
longer welcome on the podcast.
I would.
You're welcome at my house.
I would do. I would
You can
do
hang out
the-
with Rob, but we're done, dude.
I would buy them in Hawaii when I was there doing some training. We get the coconut, you crack it open after you drink it, and then you like scrape out the white stuff, the actual.
Yeah,
coconut
right.
Stuff. It's good.
Yeah. You like
good.
pina coladas?
I do.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
So do I.
I know it's not very manly, and I have.
Oh,
something
dude.
wrong with- but I'm
The
just
best drinks are the girly
drinking with
drinks.
my umbrella, like.
Best drinks are the girly drinks, for sure.
I remember I was in college. When I was in college playing rugby, we went out. We always would go out and just rage super hard. And one night, one of the guys on the team was like, I will buy all your drinks for the night, but I get to order them. And I was like, hell yeah, if I get to save money,
Yeah.
like why not? And
Yeah,
it
who
was
cares?
he ordered every single like girly drink, like apple teenies and like
Yeah.
sex on the beach and like all those. And the next day, I had the worst
Oh,
fucking hangover.
the sugar.
Just all the sugar and the alcohol. It was
Yep.
probably one of the worst hangovers of all time.
Dude. Yeah, those are the best drinks, though, for sure.
Because they taste good.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're never gonna catch me ordering an apple teeny or a pina colada.
I was actually at the bar recently with Britt down in San Diego, and I noticed, I think I had like a rum and coke or something. And I noticed all these dudes were drinking like the same shit. And they were like in their suits and stuff, like these younger guys. And I was like looking at it, I was like, Britt, what is that? And she's like, it's an old fashioned. And I'm like, fuck, I'll get one of those. So I got one of those, dude. It's the fucking grossest thing.
Old
Ever.
fashions are good, dude.
Not what I had.
Chrissy made that mistake too. She's like, oh, that sounds good.
Dude,
Chases.
It was like,
Almost threw it
what
up.
was it? It was like orange and whiskey or something. I hate whiskey, but speaking of which, we have a whiskey party coming up.
Yeah, we'll talk. We'll talk.
Yeah, we'll
about
talk
that
about that
in a little
yeah.
bit. All right, back to the rapid fire. Favorite movie of all time?
I can't answer that question.
Favorite movie right now?
Tropic Thunder.
Ooh, good one.
I think that's one I could keep watching again and again. Yeah.
Is there any actor that like when they come out with the movie you have to go see it regardless of what it's about or anything?
No.
There's no.
If it looks good, I'll see it. If it doesn't, no.
Director?
So you're not like a
Is there a
diehard
director
fan.
that you know?
No.
So if it's a good movie, it's a good movie.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Now, that being said, Christopher Nolan ain't putting out shit. He puts out some stellar stuff, you know, Inception and
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
just
Inception.
Dark Knight.
I have to watch that again. I haven't seen that in forever.
Yeah.
Classic.
Damn.
Yeah, he puts out good stuff.
Favorite sports team? Are you like a diehard of anybody?
No,
Do you watch sports?
not very much. Yeah.
All right, guys, and that concludes. Sorry for this pretty shitty segment.
Not
Thanks
even-
for wasting your time.
Not even UFC?
I used to watch it all the time.
Yeah.
I don't watch it as much anymore.
Let Randy know.
Sorry, Randy.
If I have friends fighting,
Yeah.
I'll obviously
Oh, yeah.
support them and do that. But
Right.
I don't watch. I could not tell you who is in a heavyweight champion right now. You know, anything like that.
I couldn't either.
Okay,
I
see.
think it's Stipe still.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
Okay,
anyway.
never mind.
Hopefully. I just watched Austin. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. Shout out to Austin.
Or Conor McGregor.
Shout out to Austin actually fighting on Dana White's TV show July 17th.
Yeah.
The Contender.
That's
Tune in.
sick.
Hopefully he gets that UFC contract. What about favorite music? Like what's your go-to artist?
No, I don't have a go-to artist. If you pulled up my Spotify right now, it is all over the place.
I remember that from last night.
Yeah.
It was playing some eclectic stuff
All
Like-
over the place.
all over.
Like what?
I'll show you. I mean,
Is it just a playlist?
it's just a playlist.
And every
but
song is like a different genre?
It was like
like
went from like
dude.
big band like jazz sounding stuff to like
Yeah, dude. Like I'll go from
Lil Wayne.
so it goes from like this song
Okay.
when I'm driving. Then it goes to like old school 1940s fucking dance music. Like
Damn, dude. Not passing you the aux cord.
Yeah.
Note to
I
self.
don't know, man. This is a fire. I bet there's a trap remix to that. It's fire.
I'm sure there
Yeah.
is.
And I have song ADD though. I rarely do I listen to a whole song. I'll start it.
Yeah.
30 seconds, 40 seconds in. I'm like next.
Once you get to the
Oh, that's how
hook,
most
you're
people
good.
are. Like in cars or I remember going to house parties and people would be like that. Whoever was the DJ would like change the song like halfway through and you're like, dude, just let the fucking song play.
Sometimes that is super annoying.
Yeah.
But
It just depends.
for the
I mean,
most part though, like it keeps the vibe.
Yep.
moving.
Yeah.
Yep.
What do you listen to when you train then?
It says-
Don't tell me you're listening to that
Dude, I'm about to
when you're hitting some curls.
I'm gonna
dude.
pop your head off. Dude.
Dude, I will go all over the place. Honestly, I have lifted to I Rob Bailey and my buddy actually Charlie Hustle. He's a friend of mine.
No shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
He actually came out to JBLM and got in the helicopters and all kinds of stuff like that.
fucking
So
crazy.
Beast.
He's
I love
dope
that
as
song.
fuck.
Yeah. And then I've
Get
also
him on the podcast.
Yeah, right. He's actually in Oregon right now. We should call him. I've lifted to Taylor Swift too. So
T-Sweezy.
I'll throw it out there. I don't care, dude. I've flown Apaches in
she's
Iraq.
got
I'm
some
not too
bangers.
worried about
No,
what anyone
nobody's
thinks.
checking your man card right now, dude.
I don't care.
Wait, he listens to T Swift? Fuck that guy.
Yeah, sure do.
It's funny.
Say it proudly, man. Who cares?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
LeBron versus Jordan. 1-on-1. Who wins?
Jordan,
Why?
because I like him more.
That's the best answer right there.
Yeah, that's the real
That's
answer.
the true answer.
That's the
right
only answer people actually have.
Well, I'm sure as hell not going to spit facts out at you because I couldn't tell you.
there. He averaged 22 points and 20 rebounds.
Yeah. Yep.
What's one thing on your bucket list?
You know, the big goal for me was becoming an Apache pilot, which is it's kind of like when you set a goal like that you know is you
That's
put up
a
on a pedestal for so long and you achieve it. It's kind of weird because you're kind of like, where do I go from here?
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I've had a really awesome life. I can't say anything else about it. It's been freaking awesome. You know, I've done a lot of cool stuff. and yeah, well, I just take whatever else comes.
Yeah.
So
That's
I hear that.
that's awesome though.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it is crazy when you think about that. Like the supreme goal, and then you're there, and it's like, where do you got to
Yeah.
set that next, supreme goal?
Yep.
Like maybe helicopter pilot on a blockbuster movie.
Yeah.
Something,
Yeah.
something like that's awesome.
Are there any like last words you want to tell the people?
Yeah, let's see. Don't give up on whatever you're doing, Stay passionate about something, chase it, and make it happen.
For sure.
So
That easy.
Yeah, just be passionate about shit. Where can people find you, TJ? Plug your shit.
TJ period Millard.
Plug your shit. Could have used any other phrase.
Phrasing.
He's not taking a shit here for people on iTunes.
Yeah. No, yeah, TJ Millard on Instagram. TJ period Millard. And then I don't get on Facebook anymore, man.
You have a YouTube channel?
I don't. I put some helicopter videos up there and that type of, James and I were talking about this. I just busy with other stuff. I don't
Yeah.
It's not a real priority for me right now.
Right, yeah.
Maybe eventually.
Mm.
But yeah. Facebook I don't do that. So just the Instagram.
There you go.
Yeah.
The only one that matters, really.
Yeah. So
All right.
All right. Well, we appreciate having you on, man.
thanks guys.
This was
It fun.
awesome.
Yeah.
Good times. We'll have to do this again in a couple months. Check in and see the progress being made.
For sure.
Hopefully, you're not on the street corner with,
Yeah,
with
right.
a cup. But if you are, I have a quarter for you. So,
Yeah.
Thank you.
well, this is the We Are Gunsmith podcast. It's your boy James Mooney.
It's Rob Tremonti.
Oh, sorry. And this is TJ Millard signing out.
Boom.
There we go.